Okay, hello everybody. I'm Francisco. I'm going to talk about some important events in Mexico that change a lot economically and some politically things about this. First of all, I want to say that Mexico is a great place to live. It's a great country, just well, it's developing. It's developing these years. So the first event that I want to tell is about the devaluation of the peso mexicano. As you know, Mexico in the year of Porfirio Diaz do had had committed that the peso it valued more than the United States dollar. As you know, as the past years, well, as you can see, since 30 years ago, the peso cannot rivalry the US dollar. So I want to take this opportunity to talk about this devaluation of the peso. As you know, well, in Mexico there are some critic moments about the devaluation of this peso, and is when Lopez Portillo takes the lead, takes the president about in 1766. So this president, well, doesn't do anything good for the Mexico. He's just one of the worst presidents we could have in this country. So as you can see, here is one of the worst devaluation of the peso, taking far less 866.2% of the valuation of the peso in less than 7 years. Could you believe that? Whoa, that's a horrible impact. And not only that, it nationalized la banca mexicana. So Mexico need to indemnize all the banks that were affected by this. So boom, another devaluation by the next president. Oh, Miguel de la Madrid takes all the impact about this, and in the other 6 years the peso devaluated again, but this time more than 1,000%. Could you believe that? In only 12 years the peso devaluated more than 2,000% of that. Could you? Whoa, that's only amazing. Well, not on the good terms, but that's incredible. I could not believe that since I investigated this today. And not only that, in 1994 you heard about El Efecto Tequila. These changes, this devaluation, takes a boom on all of the investment. All the people who invest in dollars, who invest in this peso, some of them who buy in pesos gains a lot of money, but those who sell in peso mexicano, well, takes a lot of, well, bad choices. So most of them go to bankrupt, and this is one of the most important things, not only in Mexico but in all the world, because this about this year, well, take the security on the next years on this kind of risk that all in the markets can happen. And well, some of these problems that caused on Mexico were the created of Alianza Gradual para la Recuperación Económica. Well, this is a bad thing to happen because it increments the price of gasoline, energetics, and public goods. Well, the poor Mexicans cannot, well, take a lot of costs, cannot spend a lot of money, and well, because of this need to spend more. And not only that, the tax indirect called impuesto al valor agregado increment about to 10% all to 15%, an increment of 5% in that year. So all of the, well, a lot of the products in Mexico were just elevated, and who is paying this tax? Well, the final consumer. So well, this affect a lot of the economic of the people for the public, and well, changes a lot of things, not only economic, so also in the politic, in the cultural, because of, well, a lot of the Mexicans cannot take a luxury, well, at least one a year, and with these changes it needs to take at least 20 years to stabilize from that, so, well, for that event. Next we have the, well, in Spanish is el terremoto del 85. This is very particular and very famous all over the world because this earthquake took place in the district of, well, in that period was Distrito Federal, but in this period is now Mexico City. Well, this was an earthquake about 8.1 on the Richter scale. Could you believe that? In the Richter scale. Well, in that year, Mexico, well, was not one of the best of the world, but was not prepared for these kind of things. So a lot of new buildings were destroyed, were collapsed for this, well, earthquake. And not only that, a lot of people, a lot of civilians, well, were affected by the bad way on these changes, on this, well, catastrophe. A lot of them lost their house, family, jobs, a lot of things. It really was a really, really bad thing to happen on Mexico, but because of this, we recapacitate about that and think about all the new reforms to do on the regulations on the construction of the buildings, because a lot of the buildings that collapsed were new, because they know, well, they not think about the ground, they not think about a lot of the materials, and takes a bad construction for this kind of of these events. So I like something to tell about this is the people take well, takes a great knowledge. They were resilience about this, and help all the other people who, well, were really affected by this. So I, well, this was an example for the Mexicans can reunite and make great things possible. That we're not only to compete, we're not only rivals, we are Mexicans. We help each other. We help to be a better country for the world. But well, since this happened, a lot of reconstruction were thinking about, well, if this could happen again in the future. And last but not least, the TLCAN, in English, the Free Trade Agreement. In this case, this is much more an economic change, an economic impact, because well, Mexico, USA, and Canada gives agreement of no taxes, of no, well, not paying more on the exporting some goods, some goods, in this case primary material, construction, well, not construction but final products, etc. In this case, this fertilize the Mexican, because, well, when I say the Efecto Tequila, they need a plant to build a rise the economic of Mexico, because it really went bad in this occasion. So this is a light, a good sign of revival of Mexico and not dying. So in conclusion, this was a good idea, a good reconstruction for the Mexico we know. In this case, the most benefits we could remark is exportation about agriculture. The agriculture, it increased about 50% in less than 5 years. And I have some thoughts for the future. Well, I want to talk about the first one, the numbers I talk. First of all, the valuation of the Mexico peso. I think this couldn't happen. This will not happen again, because we acknowledge the events of the past. So the history is for know what errors, what happened past then, and not, this will not happen again, and only for the best. And I don't think Mexico will arise so fast, because of, the PRI is a association that ruled Mexico over no, 70 years, 70 years of, well, just frauds. Well, they they rob us a lot of money. They take us a lot of money, and well, they clean their wash and go out. They only make us poor, more poor, and doesn't help us. So with this new association, this new president, I think this is a new way to do the things. Maybe we are low, we are so slow with the increment of the PIB, well, internal brute product, and a lot of economic changes. But it's because the past association did a lot of wrong things that we need to change it. We need to, well, clean all the mess and do some new things. That's why I think we can get a new, well, we can be a first class world, but this is gonna take a lot of time. Second, the earthquake of the 1985 is something that you need to remark, is something that you need to think about, because a lot of people died, a lot of people were injured, not only physically, also psychologically, and well, it really was a serious matter of things. So it really joy, well, it brings me calm that the people of Mexico reunite and was resilience about this and help each others, not only care about himself, but caring about the people who lives in Mexico. And well, we are still living, we are still in with our 2 feet to make something to be a great country again. So I think this is a great example for whom a country who can fall, who falls, not only economics, also in, well, structures, physically, politician, socially, ecologically, well, a lot of things, and stand against all of this and trying to be better again and again. So for the last thing is a TMEC. In this case, Mexico have a lot of connection with all the countries, and we are talking about USA and Canada, but this takes a lot. This was a great opportunity to Mexico to take a good impulse on the economic to survive and arise, and it really helps. It really is helpful for us. And Trump, I was thinking that this was a bad idea, but searching, investigating about the TMEC, the agreement, it remarks it was thinking about the corruption, about all these traits were used to do on the TLCAN before, because they improved the communication about the three of the, well, the three of the countries, and the responsibilities were forced. Not only that, the corruption is limited, and well, is thinking about this, not for mm, one of the parts were beneficide of other. No, is that three of them can work well. It's all about a great partnership and do all the trades with the right, well, as the right way, not not particularly beneficide. So this is all I wanted to talk about. Thank you very much for listening to me. I looking forward for a next, well, a next talking. Thank you very much.